What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. This is going to be a difficult one for you guys to really grasp. And some of you are going to fight about it, and some of you are going to fight in the comments about it, and then others of you are going to fight internally within yourself about it. But this is a really, really important concept for you guys to grasp. And it's leading with your money, but it's specifically saying that you should not be spending any money, or at the very least, any extraordinary amount of money on a woman before you get married to her. You should not be spending any extraordinary amount of money at the very least, or any money whatsoever, on a woman. Now, I'm not saying with a woman, and it's a difference. Now, let me add the context. When I say spending money on a woman, don't buy her a bag. Don't buy her a whole bouquet of flowers trying to impress her. How many times have we seen people do all of this stuff only for it to be for naught? Y'all are leaning into y'all femininity and y'all think that the emotional side of it is going to get you any better of a relationship. But in reality, you're being used. And I don't want you to be taken advantage of. I don't want you to be used. And so some people are so afraid of not being liked, whether it be from the general public or from the very women that they're dealing with. But really all you're doing is vetting out the people that's not supposed to be in your life in the first place. Now, if you out here paying for box, and I know that some people think that paying for box means a lot of different things, then pay for your box, go get your box, and then keep it moving. It's a transactional situation. I don't agree with it, but you're going to do whatever you want to do anyway. However, I know that most men want to be married. Not all men, but most men want children. They want a healthy marriage. They want a companion. They don't want to be out here in the streets running around trying to figure it out, hunting and all of that stuff. And so when we start to talk about vetting for a wife, and now y'all asked for this video. Y'all asked for these type of videos. So I said that, okay, all right. Well, maybe the people are in a position where they can start hearing something a little bit differently. And in addition to having conversations about holding people accountable and breaking down the ways and the woes in which you're supposed to be operating in society so that you don't get finessed, let me include a couple of additional videos in here so I can give you some insight and some understanding on how you're supposed to vet for the direction that you're going in, not for the situation that you're currently at, right? And so I'm trying to show you how you can weed through the mud to then find out who it is that actually deserves to be shooting in the gym with you and going in the direction which you're going in the first place. Then the first thing that you got to do is you got to remove the money from the equation. Why? Because money is a tool. It's a way for you to cover up all of the imperfections, the problems, the troubles, not have the uncomfortable conversations, and then be able to see who's really with you and who's just with you for your money. So when I say don't spend no money on her, a lot of y'all think that just because you're successful, that's supposed to substitute for all of the other things. And women will then say, well, just because you can do it, it's an situation. No, it's an or situation, because you got to understand that that's not your wife. And she has not deserved for you to trade in your time for money and then ultimately spend that money on her. Because every hour that you spend killing yourself, going out and getting more resources, it adds up. And I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how successful you are. It's funny because we want to be fiscally responsible when it comes to our resources and making sure we're not living above our means. But then we don't have no limits when it comes to making sure that we seek the adoration of the opposite sex. And that's weird to me, because every situation starts off as a business relationship and then you learn to love it. I love what I do for a living, but I'm definitely going to make sure that I look at it from a business perspective, because I'm not about to get finessed by nobody. And it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. And you got to understand that every situation that you in and every circumstance that you participate in is a business transaction. It's transactional. It's transactional just from the very idea that you trading your time for resources, and then you giving those resources over into other people, and you don't want to be used. So again, if you just out here messing around and you're not really caring about what's happening out in these streets, then that's one situation. But if you actually vetting for the person that's going in the direction that you're going in, then you're going to have to be able to vet out all of the ones that's trying to use you. And it's especially for the guys that are winning at the top level, because it's much more difficult for y'all to be able to figure out who's with you and who's against you. And so if a woman ain't rocking with you when you're not spending no money, and that's one that you can start to get to know and you can start to pay attention to. So stop buying handbags. Stop spending money on extra dinners and all of that other type of stuff. Now, what's the difference between spending money on a woman and with a woman? Well, when you're spending money with a woman, you got to be able to operate in life, right? You got to get gas. You got to be able to get to and from wherever you got to go. I'm sure that you got to have Netflix or whatever it is that y'all want to talk about. Majority of y'all situations, y'all should be conversating and talking about stuff and shooting the breeze and stuff that's completely unrelated to a relationship. Like, you should be getting to know people and networking with them and it just being a natural thing, a natural progression into great conversations about things that have nothing to do with sex, nothing to do with relationships, nothing to do with preferences, anything like that. And it does not cost money to do that. It don't cost money to do that. And y'all don't want to take y'all time. Y'all want to be in a rush. You're so busy thinking and fearing that somebody is going to take the spot. Like she ain't been on this earth for all of these decades and years before you got to her. And then all of a sudden you think that somebody is going to snatch her. Hey, man, ain't nobody worried about her. Ain't nobody worried about her. And so when you just naturally chilling and you have a level of dick discipline, which means that you're not pressed for no pussy, you start to make better decisions and you're able to vet the women that you're supposed to be around. And then those are the women that you just connect with, you chill with, you hang with, and they not pressed for nothing. And if she's a responsible adult, then she won't need your money. That's the real thing. We not dealing with broke hoes no more. That's out. Broke hoes is out in 2024. She should not need your resources in order for y'all to have a good time. And so if she don't need your resources and she ain't pressed and she ain't trying to use you, and this is an easy way for y'all to figure out whether or not somebody is trying to take advantage of you. And also, let me throw another caveat in there. Stop telling women what you do for a living because you think that that's going to give you some better prospects or that's going to really give you some clout. Man, stop telling people in general. Forget just the women. Stop telling people what you do for a living. It's not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you. It's not going to put you in a better space. It's not going to actually make you a better person. It's not going to give you more clout. They're not going to reverence you more. They're just going to look at you as more of a mark. They going to look at you as more of a mark. And so when you start to operate in humility in the face of other people, now you could be the man amongst yourself. Man, the only person you got to answer to is God. But when you're around other people, downplay it. Under promise, over deliver. And then the people that's supposed to be around you, they will weed themselves out. Even your friends, right? It's a lot of people that be hanging on and hanger-ons of people that they think are significant only because they got resources. But if you said that you was broke, all of them would cease to exist. They wouldn't be around anymore. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation, right? And so the minute that you start spending more time on self-development as far as investing in yourself and stop spending so much time worried about what women think about you, you'll start to really be able to weed through and find the women that add the most value into your life. And then, and only then, can you start considering them for something a little bit deeper than just the surface level stuff. Once you realize that that's your wife, then you start having permission to start doing things. And even then, don't start off with the speed of an Olympic sprinter. You got to gradually go up to the space that you're supposed to be in. Gradually. Because if you start off with the speed of an Olympic sprinter, then you'll have nowhere else to go. And that's the way that you got to maintain. But if you're just chilling and having a good time and being responsible and saving and stacking and still investing in yourself, and you don't adjust anything in order to make sure that they feel better about you, trying to impress them, they should be more impressed with your personality and the intangibles about you, not the stuff that you can do for them. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I got to get back to work. I got to meet somebody here real quick. And then we're going to go from there. So I'm not sure if I'm a live stream tonight on After Hours. I'm thinking about it. It's kind of like my off day. But I ain't got nothing better to do. I ain't about to be out here in the streets with y'all. So I'm definitely thinking about it. I'm considering, or I might just take a nap. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I think you guys are the best and the greatest audience all the time. More videos to drop, more work to do, more stuff inside of the Patreon. Make sure y'all join the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm out, man.